Big news just dropped for the Chicago Bears, and I can't wait to share it with you. Two major updates came out this afternoon, and they're making waves. First up, trusted NFL insider Adam Schefter is reporting that the Chicago Bears are expected to announce the construction of a brand new stadium in Arlington Heights, Illinois. This news comes from a reliable source, and if Schefter is saying it, it's probably true. A new stadium could be a game changer for the franchise, and it'll be exciting to see how this develops. The second big update comes from Ian Rappaport, who reports that Trey Smith is officially off the market. The Kansas City Chiefs are planning to use the franchise tag on their star guard, locking him in for another season. This means Smith won't be hitting free agency, despite many fans hoping the Bears would make a run at him. The Chiefs are set to pay him over $23 million for 1 year, fully guaranteed. A huge commitment. Now, is this actually good news for the Bears? I'd say yes. Chicago no longer has to get into a bidding war for Smith, which could have cost north of $25 million per year. Instead, the Bears now have more flexibility with their cap space. Right now, they're sitting on over $80 million, and with some expected roster cuts, that number could climb close to $100 million. That's a lot of money to build a strong team. On top of that, they have a solid stash of draft picks and plenty of options to improve the roster. The bottom line? The Bears are in a great position moving forward, both financially and strategically. Now we just have to see how they use these resources to shape the future of the team. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. There's no need to panic. The draft and free agency are still packed with talent, and in fact, the Bears might actually be in a better position now that Trey Smith is off the market. With Smith unavailable, Chicago can explore other veteran options. One name to keep an eye on is Ravens left tackle Ronnie Stanley. He's a multiple-time Pro Bowler, and there's no guarantee Baltimore will bring him back. If the Bears can sign him at a reasonable price, he could be a great addition to the offensive line. I'm not too sold on Alaric Jackson from the Rams. He's had some flashes of potential, but I don't think he's the right fit for Chicago. The same goes for Coleman Shelton. He's not the answer we need. However, one player that really stands out is center Drew Dalman. Yes, he dealt with an ankle injury last season, but Pro Football Focus consistently ranks him as the NFL's fourth best center. The Atlanta Falcons don't have the cap space to keep him, which means the Bears could land him for just over $10 million per year. That would be a fantastic solution for the center position. I'm not a fan of throwing a rookie into that role. The transition to the NFL is tough, especially for a center who has to adjust to the speed of the game and the complexity of reading defenses. We need a reliable veteran, and Dalman, at just 26 years old, is a perfect alternative. While he's stronger in run blocking than pass protection, he's still a solid player. Put him on a well-structured offensive line, and he'll help elevate everyone around him. Now, let's talk about Super Bowl champion and Philadelphia Eagles guard Mekhi Becton. Some people might question this pick, saying, "Sean, wasn't this guy a total bust with the Jets?" And yes, for 4 years he struggled there, but everything changed when he landed in Philadelphia. Under the guidance of legendary offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland, Becton completely turned his career around. At 6 feet 7 inches and 363 pounds, the Jets originally had him at tackle, where things weren't clicking. But once the Eagles moved him to guard, he thrived. Now, at just 25 years old, he's looking like a solid option for the Bears, especially since reports suggest he'll be available in free agency. Beyond Becton, there are a few other intriguing options. Cam Robinson from the Vikings and veteran guard Kevin Zeitler from the Lions are both names to watch. Zeitler, in particular, is an interesting choice. He has experience with offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, which means he could slide right into Chicago's system. Plus, as a veteran, he won't cost much, making him a solid bridge player while the Bears develop a younger lineman or keep him as insurance against injuries. But the player I'm most excited about? Will Fries, the Colts guard. He's coming off a major injury. He broke his leg, but reports suggest he'll be ready for the upcoming season. And before that injury, he was one of the best guards in the league, ranked as PFF's 4th best at his position. The best part? Because of the injury, the Bears could get him at a bargain price. There are plenty of strong options out there, and Chicago has the flexibility to make smart moves. The key is finding the right fit for the team's long-term success. I believe the Bears could land Will Fries for around $12 to $14 million to fill a guard spot, and if he's fully recovered and passes his physicals, he'd be a fantastic addition. The guy is technically sound, and if he's ready to go for the season, I see him as a top target for Chicago. Beyond free agency, the draft is packed with talent. Tyler Booker, a pure guard out of Alabama, would be an incredible pick. Will Campbell, arguably the best offensive lineman in the draft, will likely be off the board before the Bears pick at number 10, but there are still plenty of other strong options. Josh Simmons from Ohio State, Kelvin Banks Jr., and even a sleeper like Missouri's Mahamadou, I might be butchering his name, all stand out. One player who has really caught my attention is Gray Zeller from North Dakota State. That school has been producing NFL-ready linemen, and he made a strong impression at the Senior Bowl this year. He could be a perfect alternative for the Bears if they're looking for solid protection up front. Now, here's where I want to hear from you. Does all of this actually put Chicago in a better position? With so much salary cap space, should the Bears go all in on the offensive line? They could land multiple blue-chip players in free agency and the draft, but this also opens up possibilities on the defensive side of the ball. Could this give the Bears a shot at a top-tier pass rusher? Maybe not someone like Myles Garrett, since trading for him would cost too much in draft capital. But what about Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals? Cincinnati is dealing with a tight cap situation, especially with plans to keep T. Higgins. They might not be able to afford Hendrickson, and the Bears could possibly land him for a late-round pick. He's a dominant force off the edge, and now that Chicago has the money, they could bring him in and still upgrade the offensive line. The Bears have options, and this offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in years. Kevin Warren is a guy who gets things done. His reputation is built on persistence. Once he makes a decision, he follows through, and he does it well. I think City Hall in Chicago dragged things out for too long, resisting progress on a new stadium. Personally, I would have loved to see a waterfront stadium. The Chicago Bears belong in downtown Chicago, and a stadium on the old hospital site would have been an iconic setting. But if Adam Schefter is right, and he usually is, it looks like the Bears will be building their new home in Arlington Heights. That area has some history, especially with the old Arlington Park racetrack, which was a legendary venue in its own right. While I don't know all the specifics about how a massive Bears stadium will fit into the neighborhood, it seems like any issues with the city council and taxes have been resolved. That means we could be looking at a brand new stadium for the Bears, which is pretty exciting. Now, I want to hear from you. Are these both good things for the team? With Trey Smith off the market, the Bears can now allocate their cap space more wisely. And while the new stadium won't be in Chicago, is that something we can accept if it means a state-of-the-art home for the Bears? Let me know your thoughts, and as always, bear down. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you updated with the latest Chicago Bears news every day. See you next time.